I am the judge, says the judge on his bench, and I pronounce him guilty. Well, he's a judge by profession, and there are certain things he's allowed to do. When he listens to the jury and they find a person guilty, he's a judge who can say, well, I'll give the sentence out in 2 weeks. Judge requires authority. When we judge someone, we take authority. And we take authority especially from God, because He's the one who is in authority over all human beings. Now let me help here a little bit from past experience. Do know that there is a difference between evaluating and judging. The mind cannot help but to evaluate. But that's still not a judgment, it's an observation. Judging enters in when I take authority over that evaluation or over the person over whom I am evaluating and say, she shouldn't have done it, or he's to blame. See, when I take a superior attitude over someone, then that's not right for me to do, because I don't own anybody. Even if it's my spouse, I don't own my husband. I don't own my wife. Both of us belong to God, and He is the judge. And Jesus again comes to our rescue, and He always seems to be able to do that just with the right words. And what does He say? Judge not, and you will not be judged. Short and sweet. Meaning, therefore, that if I'm rough on people, if I'm very demanding, that's the way God's going to deal with me. If I'm more understanding, if I'm considerate, and if I appreciate the limitations of others, and I allow them to be themselves, and I allow them to fall, I allow them to make a mistake, I try to prevent it, maybe, out of love, but who am I to stand over anyone and look down upon them with authority? So to know the difference, evaluating and judging. Be careful of evaluations, because they could trigger judgments. However, if I have a love for people, that's a big one. That's a big order. To have a love for people. I can love certain people, but why can't you love all people? I don't know, but I can't. Try. Why? Because all the people are people. Every person is a person. Every individual creature, human creature, is the handiwork of God. And so, if you would only observe the individual and found goodness in that individual, and you concentrated on that goodness, you would not want to judge. To be able to make excuses for a person is a good way. And there are times that we've got to approach someone and say, hey, what'd you do that for? How come you treat your mother that way? And how come you stole that thing at the grocery store? How come? We certainly could deal with people when they do wrong, but then to pounce on them as if we were perfect ourselves and rub their noses in their wrongdoing, that's not for us to do. We leave them up to the Lord. It's a good thing that some of us are not God for the way we deal with others, the way we treat them. And it's a good thing that God is God. And He deals with us much more lovingly, with a greater concern, with a greater reverence. So if God treats the sinner And if God himself, as the Son of God, as Jesus, treated his executioner so kindly, made no judgments even concerning Pilate, who condemned him to death. Ah, he was God. Now wait a minute, don't jump too fast behind that one. He was also human. He had his feelings. Surely he had the same Holy Spirit helping him that you and I have. If we attach ourselves personally to the Spirit as a person, he will bring to mind. And don't forget, let's never forget that the Holy Spirit comes and is with me and with you with gifts. Wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Those three are marvelous, marvelous gifts. Again, wisdom, knowledge, understanding. And he pumps them into me, into my system, so that if I have a greater understanding of people, their limitations, then it'll be easier for me to get off their back. And wisdom will teach me as the Spirit shares it with me that, hey, but for the grace of God, there go I. I could be as bad as that person whom I'm judging if it were not for the fact that God gave me extra graces. So no need to judge, but a great need to pray for the person whom we would like to execute. And God himself is so generous over and over and over again. He forgives. Just imagine if we didn't have the sacrament of reconciliation. It'd be rough, wouldn't be rough. And the Lord says, again, I forgive you, again. Well, if God, who is the right judge, is merciful, who am I to take on this behavior and judge with justice? I know it's a weakness, and we can get into that habit. But with prayer, prayer helps a lot. Well, I say a lot of prayers. You may say, no, prayer. Listen, or at least watch me when I get into prayer. Let's say I'm upset. Somebody crossed me up. And I vibrate physically. I'm so upset. And I really am judgmental. Cool it. Calm down. Talk to the Lord. Ask the Lord to bless the person. I can't. Now come on, calm down. You see what I mean? Cool it. Cool it. Cool it. When I have discipline over myself, then I'm not going to judge people. If I don't have discipline, I'll fly off the handle. Therefore, self-judgment, self-evaluation. Be tough on yourself. I am. Well, not as tough as you are on other people. Well, they deserve to be tough. No, don't take that attitude. Listen to what I say to you. Slow down, cool it. Don't expect everyone to do things your way. Who do you think you are? And tell yourself that, or at least ask yourself. You look in the mirror once in a while, and I'll tell you this is a tremendous medicine, tremendous therapy. To get up in the morning, to look at yourself in the mirror, say, who do you think you are? If you can come back, I am a person. I've been made to the image and likeness of God. When you find that you are reverent towards yourself, you'll find that you are reverent towards others. Then you won't judge them, because reverence makes you to look up to them. Oh, mothers aren't they grand, because at times, no, that's not my son will never do that. They'll come to the rescue of their son or their children, their daughters. And the person knows, no, that's the real boy. No, that's not, you're not talking about my son. And God is that way. You're not a sinner, you just fell. Come to me and I'll forgive you. You're not bad. You're just weak. And I know that you're weak. So I'm not going to judge you yet. I don't care to judge you. I'd rather help you. Did you hear that? This is God talking. I don't want to judge. And He's the judge. I don't want to judge you. I want to help you. Let me help you in the problem that you have. Do you realize what a nice way to be able to deal with people that way? Don't judge me. Just help me. Don't try to drown me in a teaspoonful of water. That doesn't make sense, does it? But it does. To try to drown a person in a teaspoonful of water, and you're so angry with them and you judge them. Don't do that. Remember now that if you judge harshly, you will be judged harshly too. That alone should be a deterring element. And just sizzling. Yeah, but no, calm down. Calm down. That gives a lot of mileage. Pent up, angry, ready to judge, ready to hurt, ready to revenge. Just cool it. Physically, just cool it. Soften up. You have a hard body, you'll have a hard heart. You have a soft body, it's a better chance you have a soft heart. So if you find that you're raging and you're judging and you're unmerciful, catch yourself at it. And just go from here to here. Know where that button is, know where that release is. From here to here. It's right in here. And once in a while I teach people to have a dry run. Show me anger, show me stress, and then get unstressed. That's what's so simple, such a simple solution. It's spiritual, psychological, okay. At least it helps us. Why? Because when I'm here, I cannot get grace. I cannot get help from the Spirit. But when I get here, then He can do something for me. Because who ever heard of eating right off the bat a frozen filet mignon? You can't eat it. You got to have it thawed out. So if I'm here, grace won't stick. I got to get here. Soften up, then grace will come. No need to be angry ever. But the need is to have compassion and mercy. For this is what Jesus taught us and teaches us to do.